floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Vyacheslav, and thank you to the organizers. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be with you here today. As I'm the only thing blocking Bart's closing presentation and therefore lunch, I'll try and be as clear but as concise as possible. Lots of things have already been said and already mentioned, so I'll try not to repeat things, but just to draw your attention to a few of the key elements in terms of moving forward. This is an initiative which started very much as a bottom-up initiative led predominantly by Rodolfo Taccani and Alexander Gerbets, representing university and industry, collaborating to develop a view of how hydrogen could be built in this transnational way as a hydrogen valley in this area. Very soon, Vyacheslav and his team came on board, and already we had the triple helix that's already been mentioned several times, research, industry, and government representatives collaborating together. The political will from the three governments, the autonomous region of Friuli Venezia Giulia, the ministries involved from both Croatia and Slovenia, very clearly demonstrates that there is a desire to make this happen on a transnational basis for the first time in Europe. I'm correct in saying that part, I think. So the fact that Ursula von der Leyen cited the North Adriatic Hydrogen Valley as an important initiative when it hasn't actually yet taken off is a demonstration of how important an opportunity this is, and how the fact that it was born from the bottom up demonstrates that there is already the predisposition there from the industrial community, which is fundamental to making a hydrogen valley work, from the research community that will continue the education process, but also the development of new technologies to make its evolution a concrete reality. And that political will that has already been demonstrated and has been demonstrated in the meeting in Trieste, in the meeting in Nova Gorica, and in the meeting here today, becomes crystallized in the letter of intent, which has already been mentioned and has already been drafted, and I'm sure will be signed in the near future. But that is really just the formalization of a political intent that's already manifest. It's already demonstrably here, and that's why we're all here today. Industry has already shown that it is willing to not just to participate in a passive way, but to actively invest and develop the technologies necessary and roll out those technologies in a transnational collaborative venture. And the research community, not just the University of Trieste represented by Rodolfo, but also the research communities in Croatia and Slovenia, are poised and ready to give their contributions as well. So the documents that are on the table already have all of the necessary ingredients to make them work. So what am I doing here? Why was I invited to make a few comments? Well, as Vyacheslav rightly said, the question of perception is fundamental in taking forward any initiative, but a transnational initiative, which for the first time seeks to make a hydrogen valley in European territories, is so delicate an initiative that it's important that we manage those perceptions all the way through this process. And so I'm guessing partly because of my background as a native English speaker, so I'm the only one who gets to speak in their first language, not their second language, and partly because of my role in a national institution whose role is not just to do research, but to translate the results of research into innovation in the industrial setting. Aria Science Park has had that mission since its inception over 40 years ago. I was invited to try and help to bring clarity to the key points that will determine the activities that will be taken forward in the next few months as we move forward to the first really concrete step, which will be the presentation of the project in response to the call which Bart will tell us about, which makes this first investment happen and gets things moving in a very concrete way. So all of the ingredients are already there. I just wanted to draw attention to a few things. The letter of intent, as currently drafted, talks about the formation of a joint working group. That joint working group will be the first manifestation of the political will to move in a certain direction. But again, that joint working group in many ways has been working for some time, or rather the constituent parts that are likely to form that joint working group in terms of the technical representation from the research community, the industrial community, and the institutional partners are already collaborating. They're already working on potential projects that can be part of that hydrogen valley. The important thing is that they are already working closely together. There is an absolute convergence of will from the political and institutional level down through the research community to industry, and industry has already declared that it is ready to invest in this process. One of the best things that a politician can do, in my opinion, when it comes to forward planning and future investments, is to leverage the public sector investments that are available to make sure that private sector investments come in on the back of that. That is something that is demonstrably possible in the North Adriatic Hydrogen Valley Initiative, because industry has already declared its intent to do that. Industry is going to invest in this field anyway. What we can do is speed up that investment, speed up the deployment of those technologies in a coherent way, and use this as another opportunity to emphasize, stress, and develop the collaboration between these three territories, the nations of Slovenia and Croatia and the autonomous region of Friuli-Venezia Giulia, which has always held a particular position in the Italian mix, because it's a region that has a level of autonomy that means it can move forward on initiatives like this with institutional partners from the nations of Croatia and Slovenia. But also it's a region that is often a pilot in the Italian system to demonstrate how technology transfer can work, how research results can be taken forward into industry effectively. And we're lucky enough in Aria Science Park to coordinate a couple of activities. One already mentioned by Rodolfo is the Science and Innovation system of Friuli-Venezia Giulia, which we work closely with the regional government to coordinate. And that has helped to facilitate rapid aggregation of the key partners on the industrial and research side in Friuli-Venezia Giulia, and we're able to then bring that to this table. But also we work with both the Ministry of Research and the Ministry of Economic Development in Italy, as well as the regional government, on a system called Argo, which is exactly that. It's a system which brings together all of the actors that are important in making technology transfer and innovation happen, and gets them to work together with a small amount of public sector funding, which leverages private sector investment to turn that into high impact initiatives. I'm hoping that my small contribution as we move forward can be to help continue to manage those perceptions, to avoid any misunderstandings, keep everybody on the same page as we move forward together, and develop a concrete proposal that will be a winning proposal to develop the North Adriatic Hydrogen Valley with the blessing of the Clean Hydrogen Partnership, with the blessing of the European Commission, with the seed funding that that can provide, and then on the back of that, with the investments from the three institutional partners and from industry and the research community, who will all, in cash or in kind, invest in that initiative and make sure that it brings all of the benefits that we've heard about so eloquently described today. So I'm not going to repeat all of the reasons why investing in the hydrogen economy is an absolute necessity. I'm not going to repeat all the benefits that it will bring to Slovenia, Croatia, and Friuli-Venezia Giulia. I'm just going to say it's now time to roll up our sleeves and get to work. We're ready to do that. I'd like to thank, on behalf of all of those who've been involved in the discussions, which I've been privileged to take part in, the support that we've had all the way through from the institutional partners, from the two ministries, and from the regional government of Friuli-Venezia Giulia. I think this afternoon we'll be rolling up our sleeves and developing concrete steps through the next few weeks, because I don't know whose idea it was to put this in the letter of intent, but the first deliverable mentioned in the letter of intent is a report in the month of March on exactly what's going to happen to get us to the point of writing the project, submitting the project, and hopefully winning the funding for the North Adriatic Hydrogen Valley as a partnership between these three territories. So thank you all for your attention. I'm looking forward to getting to talk to all of you individually today and over the next few weeks and months as we move forward together in this process. Thank you.